Hey, today I'm going to be making and showing you how to make sheet pan tikka masala. I love this dish, one, because I love like Indian flavored food, but two, I love the ease of how to make this and prepare this. It's super, super quick, super easy, and then you throw it all in one sheet pan and you cook it and you're done. And it's easy cleanup and easy to make. The other reason I love this is because anytime I can marinate my food in a Ziploc bag, I'm happy. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to get all the marinade ingredients. And there are a bunch of ingredients. So when I'm going to post the recipe. When you see the recipe, don't be scared of so many ingredients. A lot of times people will look for recipes that have hold on, I'm going to scoot you back, that have like maybe only like 4 ingredients in them. And I'm not saying that recipes with only 4 ingredients are bad, because that's not true. I actually have a salted peanut butter cookie recipe that has, I think, only 4 ingredients, and it's legit the best cookie recipe ever. But I'm just saying that you shouldn't be scared off of a recipe because it has a lot of ingredients. And this isn't a lot of like ingredients. The ingredients list is very long, but it's mostly just spices and stuff. So what I'm doing now is I'm chopping up a jalapeno. When you chop your jalapeno, you just want to be careful that you're not going to touch your eyes. Not going to show you that as an example, because that would not be fun for me. I literally would be crying. And you can use as much or as little jalapeno as you want. Oh, just squirted me in the eye. Speaking of squirting me in the eye. Well, not as much or as little. I mean, this is like 1 full jalapeno. I will use a full jalapeno if you are nervous about spice. This is really juicy. Then maybe just use a half. You can also use another kind of chili if you prefer, or if you just happen to have an extra chili hanging around, a poblano, or even like a chipotle chili. Sometimes they sell, not sometimes, they always sell chipotle chilies in like a jar. I happen to always have them in my refrigerator because I use them for different recipes. So if you don't have a jalapeno, feel free to use that or omit it altogether. We're going to add a lot of other spices. I'm just going to turn on my recipe so that I can see what it is that I'm doing. Okay. The other thing we're going to use is ginger. Now, I'm just going to throw this. I'm literally just throwing everything in the bag. So this is all chopped up. I'm going to just throw my jalapeno in there. And I am going to now do my ginger. So I have a quick tip about ginger. So ginger, this is a piece of ginger. You don't want to use the peel, but you can literally with the spoon, because they are like different, it's all kind of funky little size and stuff. With the spoon, the skin on the ginger is so thin, you could just literally remove it with the back of a spoon. If you want, so you don't have to take out your peeler, or if you just want to do it super, super quickly. So do that. You want to peel that off, and I'm just going to chop up, let's see what it calls for with ginger, 1 3/4 of an inch of a piece. So, we're going to ballpark it here. And that I'm going to chop that up super, super fine. I love fresh ginger. Now, if you don't have fresh ginger, maybe you don't have access to it, or, you don't happen to have it when you're ready to cook this recipe, I suppose you could use, like ground ginger. It would give you that ginger profile flavor, which would be delicious. But you just want to be careful not overpowering it with the ginger powder. There's nothing like a little fresh ginger. It really is going to give your dish that like really, I hate using that word, umami. I really hate using that word, but it's going to give it a really delicious, delicious flavor. So I recommend you use your ginger. Now I'm going to cut this up super, super fine, just because that way it will infuse as many places in the chicken dish that you can. So I don't know if you see my little, it's not a bathrobe, what is this called? My little apron. I started doing this like 5 years ago, maybe even longer, maybe like 10 years ago. When I go on vacation, because I love cooking, I love buying a little souvenir that has something to do with my kitchen. So when I was in Seville in November, I bought this little flamenco apron, and it's fun, and it reminds me of my trip every time I put it on, and it tries to keep my dress clean, which doesn't really happen. This keeps turning off. Okay, so ginger is in, jalapenos are in, garlic. It calls for 4 cloves. As you probably know, I love using minced garlic. I just feel like it's super easy to just kind of throw it in like that. I'm going to move this cutting board for now because honestly, done cutting. Can you believe that? Just a few minutes of chopping and putting stuff together and then I'm done. Okay, I'm going to use a 1/2 cup. Let me just see this for 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. 2 pounds of chicken. Let's see. It says 2 pounds of chicken. I actually think I bought more than 2 pounds of chicken. I did. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to use a little bit more of the marinade. I'm going to double that marinade recipe. So it says 1/2 cup. I'm just going to use a full heaping cup of yogurt. This is not Greek yogurt. So if all you have is Greek, use the Greek. If you're just going to buy for this recipe, just buy regular yogurt. It's good. And now is the fun part. We are going to do salt, pepper, paprika, turmeric, cumin, the turmeric. Oh my God, turmeric. Turmeric is this like delicious, I don't know if you can see this color. Maybe if I turn it upside down. It's this delicious, like almost like orangey yellow kind of spice. And it gives this gorgeous, not just flavor, but gorgeous look to all the food. Like this yellow, like Indian flavored deliciousness. That's all I can say. Okay, you gotta get out your spoons. Yeah, so I like bought this Mickey Mouse when I was in Disney World. I like buying things for my kitchen when I'm away, and it reminds me of the places, and they're useful. So, where is my teaspoon? Okay. I am going to do salt, a little bit of salt. Now, usually when I cook, you see that I don't always measure, but for these kinds of recipes, when you're using a lot of different kinds of spices, I do like to try and measure. It doesn't, you know, I am eyeballing it. Let's just be honest. I'm eyeballing it and I'm adding a little bit more. But basically, you do want to follow the recipe with this kind of thing because you're making like the tikka sauce. So you want it to be right. Okay, the turmeric. All right, I'm adding turmeric now. And what I'm going to do is when I'm done with this, I'm literally going to throw the chicken. Sorry, I keep turning around for my recipe. I'm going to throw the chicken into this Ziploc bag. And it's just, I'm going to be done with my cumin. I love when I'm done with the jar. And then I can just do that. It's so much fun. Oh, you know what's a good tip? It has nothing to do with this recipe. I'm going to share it with you now. Is when you have like, say like if you're making like a salad dressing with like a mayonnaise or like a Grey Poupon or something, and you're like done with the jar, like it's just a little bit left, make the dressing in the jar and shake it up and you get all of those like last little bits of like stuff that's like stuck on the sides and you really get good use of it. Oh, refrigerator, why did you turn off? Okay, that was that. And now, garam masala. So I discovered garam masala years and years and years ago. This is such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful spice. I can't even, honestly, yay, I'm done with another jar. Just throw that in. The smell, it's like rich and like, it just smells rich and intoxifying. Like the flavors are just intoxifying. I really can't come up with another word. Now, this says add sugar. You can or cannot add the sugar. It says for 3/4 a tablespoon. I'm going to add a little bit less than that just because we try and keep off the sugar in this house. But, you know, with all of those heavy spices, it's nice to have a tiny bit of sweet. I love to do like something where you're overpowering with spice and to have a sweet element as well. Just because it kind of gives it a good balance. Okay, so what kind of chickens? Now, when you look at this recipe, which I'm going to post later, it's going to tell you you can use all kinds of chickens. I think it says like 8-piece cut up whole chicken. I just like to use the kind that my family enjoys, right? So don't be afraid of like veering off of what the recipe is, right? So I have here, I have here 2 whole chicken legs and a bunch of drumsticks because that's what my family eats, right? We're not, I mean, I guess Alan eats the wings, but we're not like chicken thigh lovers. We just find them to be, you know, on certain recipes, chicken thighs are okay, but they're just a little gamey. So not gamey. What's the word? I guess gamey. They're just a little gamey. Oh, there's a lot of meat in this one. That's weird. Okay, so that part is done. Let me wash my hands, and I'm going to show you. Now, listen, I'm looking at the clock here. It is 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That is it. We are done prepping the food, and I am not going to do it now because I want this chicken to sit all day, but you can do this in 10 minutes before you go to work. You could do it right after you drop your kids off. I mean, you can do it right before you go to bed. This can sit in your fridge overnight. And all I'm going to do, and honestly, this is very therapeutic. They sell, you can like go buy like one of those like squishy balls for therapy. You don't need it. Ah! You don't need it. You just need to make dinner. Okay. You also need to Ziploc your bag. I thought I did it. I'm going to rewatch this video. I definitely did it. Okay. You are going to just mush these ingredients all around and get that good and mushed. You want all the ingredients, all of the spices over all of the chicken. And so the thing that's so great is that this is 10 minutes to prep. When you are ready to cook this, you are literally going to take this out of the bag, throw it on a sheet pan. I'm going to chop it up with cauliflower. You can add cauliflower or you can add potatoes to this. I suppose you can add any other kind of vegetable too. You're going to put it on your sheet pan and you're going to bake it. That's it. That's it. One meal. I'm just letting some of the air out here because you want the air to come out so you can really mush it all up. That's it. It's really simple. Let me see how long it takes to cook. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's going to take 30 minutes, 34, it's going to take you about 40 minutes to cook. So we're talking about 10 minutes of prep, 40 minutes in the oven, and you're done. So I love this dish. I think it's great. It's a family favorite. You can adjust the seasonings to your own family's liking, spicy, not spicy. And I suppose you can serve this with naan bread or rice or cauliflower rice. There is cauliflower that I'm going to add to this later. It's just a really delicious, healthy-ish way to eat and prepare a dish that's not of the norm. So enjoy it. Let me know if you're going to try it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.